Hey kids, guess what? It's the last lesson. Yay! Look at this, lesson 29, and then we're done. And you'll probably have a big test, but that's okay. You're gonna totally know what's going on. So lesson 29, end of module 2, huzzah! The objective in this one is more of the same. It's solve division word problems involving multi-digit division with group size unknown and the number of groups unknown. We don't really know much. We're just gonna try to figure it out. So let's get to it. Lamar has 1,354 and 5/10 kilograms of potatoes to deliver equally to 18 stores. Now 12 of the stores are in the Bronx. That's a part of New York City. How many kilograms of potatoes will be delivered to the stores in the Bronx? The 12. So in order for us to figure out the 12, first we need to take care of this whole amount, W-H-O-L-E, whole, and deliver it equally to the 18 stores. So we're going to do a division problem, 1354.5, and divide it by the 18 stores that will receive all these potatoes equally. So as with the strategy before, if I was to round the divisor first, I would use a roughly 20 in my head. I would be looking here, can't put a digit here, can't put a digit here because 13 is less than 18, so I'm going to have a digit here, 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 and maybe more if we have to annex a 0. But that option is always available to you. So 135, if I was to use 20, I know I could get 5 20s into 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Use your fingers, I don't care. And then 120, that would be 6, and I could maybe use 7 because I don't actually have 20. So I can try it. I might be really close. 7, and I don't want to confuse you. That is not a weird-looking number. It's a 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 7 is 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yay. So 135 minus 126, that difference is 9, because if I went up from 126 to 136, that would be 10, but it's not quite 10, it's just 9. Or you can use the standard algorithm, which is to take 1 from here and give 10. Anyway, I'm left with 9, which is less than 18. Hooray! And then I can bring down my 4 and continue dividing. 94 divided by 18, or if I had 20, 20, 40, 60, 80, but it's not, and I have 2 less, so I think I'm actually going to go with the 5 there. And 5 times 8 is 40, and look at me, 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9, so I'm still right in the ballpark. Okay, so 4, and that is also less than 18. So next step, bring down, and I have 45 divided by 18, and again, if I had 20, now I can't really get past that, so we're just going to have a 2. 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1, I have so many digits, I'm going to clean that up a little bit. 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. 36 to 46 would be 10, but it's only going up 9, so the difference is 9. Now what now? Well, I want to know exactly how many kilograms of potatoes, so I am going to annex a 0, bring it down. I have 90 divided by 18, and guess what? Look, I already got 90 when I multiplied. So if I use 5 again, then I know that 8 times 5 is 40, and carry the 4, 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9. And so I'm going to end up with 0 because I want to use all the potatoes. I'm going to divide all this whole amount by 18 equally. So what does this mean? 75 and 25/100 kilograms are how many kilograms will go equally to each of the 18 stores. But I don't need all 18 stores to get these. I'm only trying to figure out the stores in the Bronx. So if you take your 75.25 kilograms per store and you multiply it by the 12 stores that you need, because if I had a tape diagram, it would be the 75.25, and then you would keep doing that 1, 2, 3, ... to 12. Okay, so it's repeated addition, and we're just going to use up the total amount. So 5 times 2, 10. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. Don't put the decimal in the middle. Goes to 0. 1 times 5, 5. 1 times 2 is 2, and then 5, and then 7. And then we add those zeros. 5 and 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 5 and 5 is 10. 7, 8, 9. And we have hundredths up here, tenths, hundredths, or 2 positions to the right. Therefore, we should have 2 positions to the right in our final answer. And that would be 903 kilograms of potatoes will be delivered to the Bronx stores. BRONX stores. Make sure I spelled it right. Kind of a stickler on spelling. I hate spelling things wrong. So, ta-da! There's one problem. We only have 4 problems today, so let's move on. Gotta fold my book back. Okay, Valerie uses 12 fluid ounces of detergent each week for her laundry. If there are 75 fluid ounces of detergent in the bottle, in how many weeks will she need to buy a new bottle of detergent? And explain how you know. Don't forget to explain. That's very important. So let's take our 75 fluid ounces, which is the whole, WHOLE, that goes inside the bracket. And the 12 ounces would go outside the bracket. And let's start splitting up this bottle to decide how many weeks. Okay, this is per week. Ounces, OZ, per week. And this is ounces. Oh, but I don't want to put it there because we're going to need that space. Okay, 75 ounces. We'll put it over here. So take your 75 ounces and divide by 12. Now, if you know your 12s, you would know that 6 times 12 is 72. But if you don't know them, then count by 10 till you're pretty close. So it could be 7 if you counted by 10, but we have more than 10. So watch out for the extra 2. So I'm going to pull that back to a 6 because I actually know that 72 is 12 times 6. 5 minus 2 is 3. Now I'm left with 3, but I want to know exactly. So annex the decimal and a 0 and continue dividing. 30 divided by 12, I could get 2. 2 times 12 is 24. And you're left with 6. And look, if you annex another 0 and you bring it down, 12 times 5 is 60. So we have an exact answer of how many weeks. Let's label it. Anything that you can label, put a label on. How many weeks it's going to take for this 75 fluid ounce detergent bottle to last. So in how many weeks will she need to buy one? So now what? What do I do with my 0.25? What this means is it's 6 whole weeks. Okay? Now a quarter of a week might be like 2 to 3 days. So how can you make that work? Well, you can't. So essentially what you need to do is you need to forget about the 25 hundredths or 1/4 of the week and only use the whole number in your answer. So she should buy a new bottle in 6 weeks because you have to go get it before you run out. Otherwise, your clothes get all smelly. Okay? So you want to make sure you can do your laundry. And then you can even do loads of towels or sheets or extra things. So don't run out of detergent. That's our lesson for today. Okay, next one. The area of a rectangle is 56 and 96 hundredths meters squared. If the length is 16 meters, what is its perimeter? So we have a couple things going on. We've been asked about area. That's a multiplication problem. And then perimeter is the distance around. Write that down so you can remember the difference. Okay, so how do I get this when I only have, or how do I get the width if I only have one dimension? Okay, so first of all, I always like to draw what I know. If the length is 16 meters, I tend to do the long one as the length. It really doesn't matter. You'll find that out when we do the geometry unit. 56.96 meters squared would be all the little tiny squares inside. You'll figure that out too later when we get to making our area figures. Okay, so what is that? When you have area and you have length, but you don't know the width, and this is a multiplication part, you would divide this by this. So I'm going to take my area that I do know, 56 and 96 hundredths, and I'm going to divide by the 16 meters so that I can figure out what the length of this side is. And I have to know this so that I can find the perimeter. So if I have 56 divided by 16, now if I had 20, 40, 60, that'd be 3. I could at least get 3. Can I get 4? 4 times 6 is 24. Nope, that'd be too much. So 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And the difference between 48 and 58 would be 10, but it's really not that much. So we only have 8 left over. That's less than 16, so bring down the 9. Now I have 89 divided by 16. If I had 20, 40, 60, 80, that would be for sure 4. I might be able to get 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Yep, I can. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. And in my head, I was thinking 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So I saw that I had a little bit of room there. 89 minus 80 is 9, and that is less than 16. So we bring down the 6. Now 96 divided by 16. If I had 20, that would for sure be 5, but I could get at least 6. So 6 times 6, 36. Oh, yep, that's going to be good. 36. Here, carry the 3. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is 9. There you go. So the width is 3.56 meters. Okay? So we have kind of the decimal, not a whole number value. So now what you need to do is to find the distance around, which is 2 of these and 2 of these. Now you have all kinds of options. You can do 2 times 16. If you know that, that's 32, but I'm not going to give that away, right? Or you can just add them all up, and that works too. Okay, because perimeter is 2 of these and 2 of these in order to get around the shape. So remember, when lining up and adding or subtracting decimals, use the decimal to anchor your numbers together. The 16 does not go over here. No, no, no. This is the 10th place. This is the 100th place. This is the ones. All the ones line up. These are the 10s. It has to be lined up. So you can decimal down if you remember that lesson. 6 and 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 10, 11. And we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 39. And 12 hundredths meters. It's not square. It's just meters. It's linear units is the perimeter. Yay. Not too hard, okay? Last one. Okay, a city block, we're going to make a tape diagram for this one, I can tell already, is 3 times as long as it is wide. If the distance around, that's perimeter, the distance around the block is 48 hundredths kilometers, what is the area of the block in square meters? So again, let's draw what we know. It's 3 times as long as it is wide. Width, length. It's 3 times as long as it is wide. If this is the width, it's 3 times that for the length, and that's just one part. Okay? Now if I have a block, it's going to be a rectangular shape, and this is one side and this is the other. But you have to get all the way around to get the perimeter. So there's actually the other side, Okay, that's the other width, and then there's the other length, which is the other side, and then 2 more. Okay, so that this would be the one, and then this would be the other. Okay, so draw what you know. It doesn't have to be super fancy. It just needs to make mathematical sense. It's not art class, it's math class. So now, what are we going to do? We're going to take a look at all these pieces together. And we know that the distance around is 48 hundredths kilometer. But notice, kilometers. What is the area in meters? So we're not using the same unit all throughout. So my recommendation is take a look at the kilometers and change it to meters right away. Now, how do you change it to meters? You may have forgotten, but we have a strategy for that. Remember how to use the formula. You kind of go one of the old times one of the old and then the equivalent of the new. And so if you remember the King Henry, I'm going to show you this one again. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk story, and I have a video for that one if you need to go back. It's all about place value. Remember that the kilometers are right here and that the meters are in the units. Okay, meters live here, grams live here, liters live here. Okay, that's all in the units place value position, which is really the ones place. Sorry, that's so small. Ones. That is so small you can't even read it. O-N-E-S, ones. So if you look at having to change from kilometers to meters, and you see that this is 1, 2, 3 place value positions away, and that meters is a smaller unit, so you're going to have more meters, and you have to move this 1, 2, 3 times, then once, oh, there go the lights again, every day. Once you get your kind of strategy in place, you don't really have to do the formula anymore. You just have to think about the place value positions. So just understanding where these are, and again, the King Henry story will help you remember. You can just set this up on your piece of paper before a test or before your assignment if you have to do any converting. Okay, so convert first is what I was trying to say, the long version. So we have 480 meters. That is the perimeter, right? The distance around the block, yeah. And so now we have to figure out the length of each one of these. So I've got my 480, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces that are all the same size. How convenient, because it's 1 to 3, remember? So I'm going to take my 480 and I'll divide it by 8 because that's how many pieces. And so if I know my times table, 6 times 8 is 48. And so a single unit, this is my meters, a single unit will be 60. So now you can figure out the length, you could figure out the perimeter, and we could figure out the area. 3 of them would be 60, 60, and 60. Hopefully you know that that's 180. I don't even feel like showing that mathematically. And then if you take this 180 meters by 60 meters and you fill in your picture, then you can easily just multiply 180 times 60. And when you have zeros, again, 0 on the bottom means 0, and that's like holding that place value position. We're done. 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 8 is 48, 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 is 10, and this is all whole numbers. Go back, there are no decimals in here, so 1, 2, 3, put a comma in, meters squared. And so that 10,800 is the area. And that's it. Bam. And that's the end of module 2. Yay! Yay! So exciting. So I hope this has been helpful. If you think these videos are helpful, or you just need to keep an eye on me so I don't mess things up, go ahead and click subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.